Well, good morning, church. I want to welcome you to worship this morning on this 24th of May, 2020. What I want to do is just want to share with you a brief update about what's going on in the life of our church. But first things first, I know exactly what each of you are thinking. That guy got a haircut. And if you're thinking that, you're exactly right. At long last, I was able to get a haircut. I had the good fortune of being able to go down to my sister's in Dartmouth because of the recent changes with the family bubble, and I was able to be there for my niece's 10th birthday, and my sister just happens to be a hairdresser. And so I was able to get a good cut to clean off lots of that shaggy hair that I had, and I'm very thankful for that. And so what I want to do is just share with you a brief update. The first thing is I want to let you know that the deacons, the leadership team, the deacons and the pastors are continuing to meet even during this time of pandemic. And what we're doing is roughly every 2 weeks, and so actually more than we would normally meet, we're meeting together via Zoom, video conferencing software that allows us to see one another and to be with one another for our meetings. And so what we wanted to do was meet together on a more regular basis just to discuss what's going on, and also we're meeting roughly at the interval when the government updates things to do with the state of emergency. And so roughly every 2 weeks they've been letting us know about the current state of emergency, whether that is extending it or when it's supposed to expire. And so we've been meeting roughly the day after those announcements. And so our next one, for example, will be on June the 1st, which would be the day after May the 31st, when the government's issued state of emergency will either expire or be extended. And then that way we're able to just kind of track with how we plan things to do with the life of our church. And so as we meet together, we just discuss what's going on. We update one another and just check in on how we're caring for the congregation during these days. And it's been good. And so if you have anything that needs to be brought up at the Deacons meeting, we are still meeting. So please let me know, call me, or send me an email, and we can make sure that gets brought up at the Deacons meetings. The next thing I want to mention is that normally in June we have our anniversary service. We have it generally on the second Sunday of June. And this year we would have celebrated our 192nd anniversary. And so another significant milestone. This church did not begin yesterday. It goes way, way, way back, which really we should take as an encouragement that God has been faithful to Berwick Baptist Church throughout many, many years, all the way since 1828. Think about that for a second. That means that this church, God has sustained this church through things like the First World War, through the Spanish flu, and also through the Second World War and many other things that have happened in its long 192 years. And so what we're going to do, considering we can't meet together physically, is what we hope to do is to send out some videos and different things about the history of our church, so we can still in some way celebrate these 192 years that God has given Berwick Baptist Church, and as we pray for many more in the future. And we're also going to be sending out an anniversary letter as we do, so watch for that in the near future. In addition, I just want to mention once again that we're focusing on the 5 priorities that we are focusing in on to care for our congregation and one another during this time. And so we have our 5 for 5 team, about 10 people or so that have taken on a list of names from our membership directory and adherents to reach out to, just to touch base with, to see if there's anything that they need, and even just to have a chat. And so that's one thing. And if you want to be on that list, please let me know, and we'd be happy to add you to that list. Of course, I continue to call out each week as well. And so if you've not heard from me yet, expect that you will sometime in the future. In addition, number 2, we're having our weekly Tuesday night Zoom prayer meeting. And so if you are interested in joining, you're more than welcome. We've been having roughly anywhere from 10 to 15 or so people, and maybe a little more on some nights, join us on those evenings, and that's been just a rich time together, and you are more than welcome to attend. And the way that you do that is via Zoom, so you don't have to leave your house. You stay right at home by your computer, and you can join in for that prayer meeting. I send out the Zoom information that you would need each week. I send it out via Facebook as well as in an email. And so if you want to join, that is the way to click the Zoom link and you can join right in with us. I'm sending out daily devotions. Number 3, sending out daily devotions, which I hope that you're getting. If you're not, let me know. Send me an email and I can see that you get those. And I hope that you find them encouraging. The fourth thing is that I'm sending out Sunday worship resources. Sunday morning worship resources, which include our own home worship service that you can find each week on our website. I also email it out and post it on Facebook. And then I also share 2 live stream services from churches in our area, New Minas Baptist as well as Middleton Baptist. And fifth and finally, we are posting encouraging content on social media, on Facebook, things like songs, the Timothy Keller devotions on trusting God in difficult times, which I personally have found very encouraging. And I encourage you to check them out as well. The last thing I want to mention, and of course I should say there's other things that are going on as well. Some things that I know people in the congregation are doing, which I think are awesome, and I hope that those things continue and that they continue to bless members of our congregation and our community. In addition, I also want to mention giving. And so we've been very encouraged at the giving as the congregation has responded and has continued to give even during this time of pandemic. And so I thank each of you and just rejoice that we've continued to do that during this time. And I just want to remind you of the 4 ways that you can give. So there's good old-fashioned mail. You can mail in your offering. You can drop it off at the church. Number 2, drop it off at the church. I have a basket outside my office. If you don't even want to see me, you don't have to. You can just drop it right off in the basket, and I'll make sure to get it. The basket is right outside the office door, in the place where we normally have coffee together. The third way is e-transfer. So you can email your offering directly to our financial secretary, Allison Muzzerall, and the information I send that out each week, the email, and it's also on our website. And fourth and finally, we have auto giving. And so I know many of you are already signed up to that. And if you would like to be signed up, just please let us know, and we can certainly arrange that. And so there's a brief update on what's continuing to go on in the life of our church. And I would ask you to continue to pray for Berwick Baptist, that God continues to sustain us during these days, sustain the members and those connected with the congregation, and that when we get back to things as usual, we can continue on being a powerful witness in this community as we seek to shine the good news of the gospel more and more for all to hear and all to see. So God bless you on this morning.